Hi, I'm Toni Denise, and welcome to Rise Up and Bloom. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that's a little bit juicier than normal. I'm going to be talking about my experience dating here in Mexico and dating over 50, or actually for me, dating over 60. And we can just talk about dating in general, okay? Let's have a talk. So, stick around. Let's go. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that you'll stick around because today I'm going to be talking about dating in Mexico. Yep, things are going on down here in Mexico. Before I go any further, please like, share, and subscribe this channel. Well, yeah, I want to get into something a little bit juicier today, and that is dating and my experience in dating. And what I'd like, it would be really helpful if you guys would put in the comments, ask me questions in the comments, and I'll do a follow-up video to your questions, or maybe I might even get brave enough to do a live. How about that? Okay. First of all, I was reminded when I came down here that culture in other countries is different from our culture in terms of what we're used to and what's appropriate. For example, it's kind of always been accepted that an older man dates a younger woman. It's not the same when an older woman dates a younger man. But when I got here to Mexico, the younger men let me know that things were a little bit different down here in Mexico. I have been approached by younger men and I have been approached by older men. And so, yeah, my ego is I'm kind of feeling pretty good about that. And even, I also want to say that it's not even necessarily the whole romantic thing. I've just been given a respect. I haven't felt invisible here like I have felt when I was in the States. I feel like I'm still looked at as a viable option for dating at 60-something, which I'm feeling pretty good about that. Right? I think that's pretty cool. I think leave the door open is kind of appropriate for our discussion today. What you doing? Where you at? Well, you got plans. Well, don't say that. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. Don't feel invisible down here. I feel like I still am a viable option for men, and I have been out on a couple of dates here and have declined a couple. So I think that's pretty cool. So and exciting because I hadn't dated in it had been a minute in the States. Let's just say a long time. I'm pretty pleased at the way things kind of have been happening around here. I was approached by a young officer when I lived in Merida. I was approached by this young officer in front of the store. He was guarding the store. And I heard him talking, at different times. I was waiting for my Uber. And then at one point, I focused on him and realized he was talking to me. And he looked at me and he said, esposo. And that means husband in Spanish. And I kind of grinned and I said, no. And then he said, you and me. And then I said, cuántos años, like how many years are you, right? And then he said, 34, which is 34. And I was like, mi hijo, my son is 34. And you know what he said? It's okay. And I have shared that story with several people here, even some Mexicans here. And you know what they say? It's okay. So I've had to have a real mental shift. So I didn't go out with that young man but I did take his number. I'll confess, I did take his number, but I never had the guts to call. Yeah, that was the first. I was kind of taken aback when he asked me, and I started thinking about stuff like, I don't know anything about dating anybody here, and he's a police officer. I don't know if the cartel has it against police officers, and I don't know, I don't want to be around. Anyways, I had a friend that kind of brought me back. She said, stop thinking negative about it, and stop thinking about how it was when I was in Maryland or in the States, because the different countries have different standards, and a lot of countries, it's not the same as it is in the United States, where they kind of frown upon or just don't even consider the whole woman being older and the man being younger. For example, the president of France, President Macron, he married a woman that's 24 years older than him. And he met her when he was in high school. She was his high school teacher. She was married at the time. And it sounds like a really good movie. I don't know if Netflix knows about all that, but that would be a good movie. They are married. She was married and had got a divorce and everything, had 3 children. But he married that woman, and she is 24 years older than him. Okay? And most of us know Tina Turner. I don't know if you know Gladys Knight. They both have spouses that are younger than them. Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. Now, they have filed for divorce, but still, the point being is they got together, have had a family together, and she was, older than him. I want to, throw out a question to you guys, like, what do you think about dating someone younger, and how much younger? What's your limit? 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, how much younger is it off limits for you to be dating? 4 years. 4 years was as far back as I've went, but that was in the States. Since I've been here, I've dated a man that was 40, so that's like 20 something years younger than me, but he was mature. He was a grown man with grown children. So I dated him, and we had a lovely time. He was very respectful. That's one thing that I really appreciate. This young man was just very respectful. We went out, we had dinner, we went to the beach and just hung out on the beach and watched the stars. I mean, it was really romantic. It was like, when is the last time that I had a time like that where I felt romanticized? It was lovely. It was a lovely time. So, okay, let me get back. I'm digressing. And I also dated another, a police officer, an older gentleman. He was closer to my age. He was in his 50s. He too, we went out to a nice afternoon lunch dinner. Yeah, it was wonderful. And so that's my experience with dating here. Just the respect that I've seen. Just what I liked about it is the fact that I feel, maybe wanted here, or, seen as viable for dating, which that did not happen in the United States. I mean, I could get online and try and do, some online dating and stuff. I tried that years ago. I don't really care for that too much. But here, it was just organic. It was like walking and, they made eye contact, or I was at a restaurant and, one gentleman wasn't one of my waiters, and just, carried on conversation. So it was very organic, and it's really, I think it's really cool that I'm looked upon as a viable dating material, which I think I am. That's my experiences of dating. So I want to ask you, what has your experience been dating, whether you're in Mexico or whether you're in another country abroad or in the States? Dating over 50, or 60 or whenever. What has your experience been like? And have you felt like you're still viable wherever you're at? And, maybe dating is not on your radar. To be honest, it hasn't been on my radar. It just kind of happened, because I've been single for many, many years and kind of enjoy myself. So I really wasn't looking for it. So it wasn't anything I've had to really, stress about. But yeah, I'd like to know what some of your experiences have been. So please put them down in the comments and let's have a discussion, because I'd love to maybe do a live about this. I'd love to do a live about dating over 50 and 60, because I don't think we give ourselves enough credence, I guess, as we get older for having love in our lives. And I'm not sure who said there was a time limit on when you stop wanting to be wanted. What's the time limit on that? Just because you get older. But it seems like society, especially in the States, I feel like, they look at you sideways. It's something different if, you still have a vibrant love life as you get older. And so I kind of disagree with that. I'm all about living while you're living. Until we leave here, keep enjoying your life, keep living, keep blooming. Okay, here's another important fact. Part of being viable here and looked at is, from what I've been told, is the Mexicans can think that the American women are, I guess what they say in the old days, kind of loose, right? So, my friendliness might be taken, it might be construed as something else, because I have been approached at least one time where, somebody was, whistling at me from the car or whatever, and then he made a U-turn, and he, was kind of saying things out the car, like he was expecting us to go back someplace and park, and yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, but I was just like, I don't know who you think you're talking to, or what you used to. So you do have to be, I have to be, I think we all still have to be aware of, in our interactions and the signals that it gives, especially in a different country where you're not sure what, what the norms are and what things can be taken for. And so I had a discussion with a young man who lived here, and he said that the friendliness can be taken as like you really kind of want to give off more than what you're what you're expecting to give off. Being aware of being friendly, that it's not being misconstrued in the wrong way, and if it is being construed in the wrong way, you need to shut that down. Let them know, that you don't mean what they think you mean. So I guess one of the questions I want to ask you is, do you want to date at this point in your life? And if so, tell me why. And if you don't, tell me why. Maybe you don't want to date because you're just so focused on yourself right now, and that's good. Maybe you do want to date because you want companionship. What do you think? For me, I go both ways. Sometimes I'd like companionship, and then sometimes I'm ecstatic because I'm free as a bird. I can do what I want, and I don't have any encumbrances. And the other question is, have you been online dating? Have you used Tinder or some of the other online dating platforms that they have, Match? I have a confession. I have never been on Tinder, but I have been on Match, and I guess the confession is I never really follow through. I do a profile, and that's it. And I'm not sure why I do that. And when I do start getting messages, I don't really return them, and they're usually somebody in another state or country, and I can't really date them. So I gotta think about that. Maybe the bottom line is I ain't really trying to date. I don't know. But anyways, let me know about the online dating things. What are you doing to remedy your dating situation if you want to date. And the other question is, okay, if it's not online, how do you meet men? How do you meet the men that you want to date? Because I want to know, you know. Funny story, well, I think it's kind of a funny story. I was with my son when he met his wife. He's a musician, and he had to play at this event. And so after the event was over, we all went out to the foyer, and there was a lot of people, you know, around hobnobbing and talking and everything. And I know my son, and his expression told me that he saw somebody. Just by the way he looked, I could tell. And I said, where's she at? And he kind of motioned like to the side or whatever. And I looked over, beautiful lady, young lady. And then it occurred to me, I said, wait a minute, how does that even work nowadays? I said, I've been out of the dating pool for so long. Do you say, hi, I think I'm cute, can I have your number? What, how do you even do that? So I thought that was kind of funny. We were both cracking up because I'm like, I don't even know how do you even start a conversation if you like somebody, you know, I need to figure stuff like that out, right? So anyways, the good thing is he went and met her and said whatever he needed to say to her, and in less than a year they had a quick romance and they got married, and going on 2 years already. That's really, yeah. So good things can happen with the whole dating thing. And the last thing I want to say is, I know that a lot of us women, a lot of us black women especially, you know, some of our relationships have not been that positive. Maybe they started out positive, but at some time they turned a corner. And a couple things. The first thing is, you know, we want to just like discard the whole relationship, you know, and just say it was so bad. But, you know, the way I look at it is I learned something. So, you know, it's not all bad because I learned something. Another thing is, you know, I had beautiful children, so that was something I got out of it. It wasn't all a loss. And so I kind of think that I've gained more than I've lost with the failed relationships. And I'm saying this because of the failed relationships, we sometimes can just really not want to have anything to do with men and just have our hearts closed off. And I know, because I was like that for a long, long time. But if your heart is closed, you can't receive anything. You know, you can't give anything either. So, you know, I just want to gently encourage some of you that are, you know, hurt and scarred, because we all have been. It's just kind of a part of this thing called life, and especially where the relationships are concerned, and failed marriages, and just things that happen that we did not expect, did not necessarily want them to happen, but they did. But I just want to encourage us, myself included, to keep our hearts open, you know. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be this serious, you know, relationship or marriage or any of that, but just having your heart open just to enjoy the company of a male companionship, you know. And sometimes we can just send out nonverbal messages that say, get away, you know. And I've done that before, and people have kind of let me know that the messages I was sending off was like, I don't want to be bothered, you know. And how is that helpful? How is that helpful to me? Or, you know, just because I might not want to date, I don't have to, you know, act ugly about it or mad about it. But let's keep our hearts open, just to enjoy our lives at this season of our lives. But the other message is, guard your heart, okay? Because we know what happens when you don't. So anyways, enough about that. The whole dating thing in your 50s and 60s. Yeah, share this video with some of your other friends and aunties and mothers and whoever that you think can benefit from the discussion. I want to know. And I really like to know if you'd like me to do a live, because I really like to discuss this live. So please let me know in the comments. And on that note, I'm going to say, always remember to rise up and bloom.